tomorrow at 5:15, very important Lubbock City Council meeting. As the Lubbock City Council will debate a few gun issues, and two of those gun issues have drawn the most attention. And those are the resolutions that have been put forward by Councilwoman Latrell Joy. She was on Lubbock's First News earlier today. If you want to sound off on anything she had to say, you can. But the issue of attempting to ban responsible gun owners from carrying their weapons at city meetings, not just city council, but other city meetings, to me is just absolutely terrible. It is not a smart idea. And it basically shows the ignorance, in my opinion, of someone who proposes this and really has no idea what they're talking about. You know, one of the things I remember Joy talking about, it was more with the Loomis deal, I believe, of why James Loomis, may pick and choose who gets to carry a concealed handgun. And one of the things she said was, well, if you have an employee who is, I guess, convicted of domestic violence, well, they shouldn't be, maybe Loomis would not want them to carry their concealed handgun. Well, I've got some news for you. Again, here's some ignorance. They probably won't have their CHL anyway if they've been convicted of domestic violence. Just throwing that one out there at you, Latrell. Study some law. You're a lawyer. Study it. The other thing that I got from Latrell's interview is she's just not comfortable with guns. She doesn't own a gun. At least that's what she said in the interview. She doesn't have one. Which I don't know how smart it is for someone to go on the radio and say, yeah, hey, everybody, I don't have a gun. I don't know. It's about as smart as putting a sign outside your home going, this is a gun-free zone. I wouldn't do it. Then again, I have multiple guns. So, no need for that sign because it's not true. But you could just tell, I think, by listening to her, it's just someone who doesn't like guns. Doesn't understand it, doesn't like it, doesn't want to know why you need to carry. It's almost a disdain of people who carry. And maybe I'm reading into that a little too much. I don't know. But that's what I get from a lot of people who don't like those who conceal carry. Is that they don't like guns. They don't like the people who like guns. They have a disdain for it. They think it's stupid. And that there's no need and that you're the threat. When in reality, if you actually look at numbers, if you look at statistics, those with a CHL are very safe people, very responsible people, and account for very, very, very little gun crime and crime overall in this state. But again, those are just the pesky facts that are out there. Now, the council will vote on two items from Latrell Joy tomorrow at City Hall. One of those will be to ban the concealed handgun, and the other will ban open carry. And open carry goes into effect on January 1st. Do I expect a lot of people to open carry at City Hall? No. I don't know if anyone will open carry at City Hall. I don't think it'll be an issue at City Hall. Concealed carry has not been an issue at City Hall. We still have not found any records of anyone running around with their gun, first concealed and then bringing their gun out and waving it at people. That still has not happened over at Lubbock City Hall during the council meeting. That has not happened. It's a non-issue. And so a lot of this from the people who will be voting for Latrell's resolutions, a lot of this is just ignorance. Now, for the good news. Jody's looking at me like, there's good news. There is good news. I have good news. I think these resolutions will be defeated tomorrow. We know that Mayor Glenn Robertson is against Latrell Joy's resolutions. We know that Councilman Jim Geralt is against the resolutions. We know that Councilwoman Karen Gibson is against the resolutions. We've heard that previously. Last night I received a phone call from Councilman Jeff Griffith, who told me he is against the resolutions from Latrell Joy. Now, I will say this. Anything could happen between right now and the vote tomorrow. So people still need to show up. This is still a very important issue. But it looks like right now, if I had to predict and if I had to put money on it, that enough people on this city council will support the Second Amendment and your right as citizens to carry at City Hall. So that's the good news. Could things change? Could someone switch their votes? It's possible. And that's why people still need to show up if you're able to. As I've said all week, this is one of the reasons that I think Latrell Joy put this on the council agenda for this Thursday. I believe the last council meeting of the year is that you folks are busy. Everyone's busy this time of year. You've got Christmas parties to go to. If you've got kids events to go to at school. You're busy. You're out doing Christmas shopping. Everyone's busy. And so, but if you're able to go to City Hall tomorrow night, 5:15, show up and call for the council members to support the Second Amendment. Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 790 KFYO. Phone lines open to you, 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790. Daryl, you're on KFYO. Good morning, Daryl.
Good morning, buddy. You stole some of my thunder, but Latrell was his typical condescending self. And some of the stuff she came up with, like if you have domestic violence, what are you doing with a CHL? Yeah. The other thing is the city manager going to do background checks
on employees?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, how would he know that he had domestic violence?
Yeah, I don't know what the city manager is going to do. And
okay.
I think that's why a lot of people do question the first resolution, which is being challenged by the mayor. Which is this whole issue of the city manager getting to pick and choose which employees decide. We don't know how he's going to do that.
And the other thing is, if I work for you and you say, do you have a CHL? And I tell you, go fly a kite.
Right.
Because he doesn't have the right to do that. Show it to me in law.
Employers can ban handguns.
They can, but if you don't tell them you have a CHL, how's he going to know?
Yeah.
And there's nowhere in the law says you have to tell them.
Yeah.
So, what's he going to do? Background checks? I mean, and I still think this is subject to open records.
According to the city attorneys, it will not be open. It will not be subject to open records, from what I have learned.
Do you believe that?
You know what? Look, here's the thing. Anyone can file a lawsuit.
Oh,
yeah.
I
mean, there's always that. That just because you shouldn't file a lawsuit, anyone can file. I mean, we've seen that with the city numerous times. So I don't know. It's one of those where the city staff, city attorneys, they have said numerous times this will not be subject to open records.
Yeah, and remember, these are the same city attorneys that didn't buy the property or the mineral rights under Lake Allen Henry, too,
Well, not the exact same ones.
Well, close enough.
Yeah, I mean, they're different. You got some new people in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Daryl, thanks for the call.
Okay,
appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
770-5790. Toll free, 1-800-687-0790. I think on the KFYO text line, Had someone who sent in a message. They already do background checks. I think Daryl was referring to the city manager doing complete background checks. Like every single time someone applied to receive an exemption or to be allowed to carry. I think it'll be challenged. It would not surprise me if it's challenged going forward. If the city manager is allowed to pick and choose which employees get to carry. And that's what really bugs me about the Loomis policy, is that he gets to pick and choose which employee. It's not a blanket, yes, all employees get to carry. No, not all employees get to carry. It is we're going to pick and choose, and we're going to let department heads tattletale. And if they think that you're a hothead or that you're not doing your job correctly, then you don't get to carry. I mean, there's not at least from what I know, there's not a clear and precise method to what Loomis decides. And I still wonder, why are we worried about it now? What happened that caused James Loomis all of a sudden to say, well, we got to have this policy where everyone who is a CHL holder, who's an employee of the city, they have to report to me? What happened? Why the change in policy? Why is this needed right now? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't even know if that'll come up for a vote tomorrow. If you remember the last time that this was on the agenda, the Loomis policy, the Gunzar policy, it was tabled. It was postponed indefinitely. So I don't even know if that'll come up for vote or not. Who knows? The council may finally decide to take action on that, or they may vote to postpone it. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But Lubbock City Hall, 5:15 tomorrow. Show up, support the Second Amendment, and really, even if we know for sure that this thing is going to be defeated, Latrell Joy's amendments or resolutions, even if we know for sure, it is still, I think, a good time to show up to City Hall and to show that citizens do care about this issue. Because, folks, I promise you this, that depending on the makeup of the Lubbock City Council in the future, this will come back. Just as we have said about the No Fun Club trying to take away private property rights and trying to instill a smoking ban over the city of Lubbock, liberals never stop. Liberals never say, oh, we already have way too much control over your life. Okay, never mind. You guys can control your own lives now. They never say that. Liberals keep taking and taking and taking and want you to rely on government more and more and more. And one of the things that, when Latrell Joy was in studio earlier with Tom and Laura, she said that normally there's one officer. I thought there were more. But she said there's one officer posted at the door at Lubbock City Council meetings. I think that's all the more reason to allow people to carry. Because, again, God forbid this happens. But now that it's been publicized that there's only one officer attending city council meetings, let's say someone shows up and they immediately take out the officer. Again, God forbid. But they take out the officer and they walk into city council chambers and you're not armed. That's not good. That's not good for anyone at City Hall. But again, Latrell Joy doesn't think about that. Instead, what she is concerned about, what she thinks is the safety problem, is you. The responsible CHL holder. She thinks you're the problem. You're the safety threat. You're the person we must get rid of. You're the person we must expose. I don't like it. And it's time for her to be off the city council.